All right, guys, what's going on? This is David for Flix Talk Podcast, and I'm back with my amazing co-host, Josh. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. We're doing this kind of early. I know I had a late night. How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty late. Went to bed at like 2:33, something like that.
Gaming it? Are you still gaming it?
No, I was just watching some movies and stuff.
Okay, what were you watching?
I was watching Skyscraper, believe it or not.
What? How's that? I hear so many mixed reviews. People tell me to watch it, but I'm like, yeah.
It was all right, but you know, the ending was kind of cheesy. It was just like...
Was it very cliche?
San Andreas. It was just like San Andreas.
I hear that movie is a combination of San Andreas and... another movie he did. Well, I heard it's like taking elements from The Towering Inferno and Die Hard. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never seen The Towering Inferno, so...
Really?
I think it's like a 60s movie, right? Or something? Or 70s?
Yeah, it sounds old. It sounds pretty old.
Oh, you never heard of that movie?
No.
Okay, then fuck it. Whatever. All right. But did you enjoy it or no?
Yeah, it was. I give it like a solid C.
C? Really? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's more than most people are giving it. But
right.
But we are back, and we're talking about a cool action movie. And I got to say, right out the gate, this is probably my favorite action movie so far of 2018.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah? You agree with me?
I agree with you.
Okay, it's good that we're on the same page with that one. Also, I'm coming from a perspective of not seeing any of the other Mission Impossibles. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen almost all of them. I don't remember the last one.
Was that was the last one Rogue Nation or Ghost Protocol? I totally forget.
I think that was Ghost Protocol.
Okay. Yeah, but I know we get kind of our original cast from that. And let's see. It looks like Rogue Nation might have been the last one.
Was it Rogue Nation?
Yeah, Rogue Nation was the last one, and it came out in 2015. Before that was Ghost Protocol in 2011.
Okay, so I haven't seen Ghost whatever
Protocol
the Recon one.
Okay,
Protocol. I saw Protocol. I didn't see the other one.
Oh, you didn't see Rogue Nation? Okay.
No, I didn't see Rogue Nation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And it looks like they got the same 7.4 on Rotten Tomatoes, but this one is the highest on. I'm sorry, not Rotten Tomatoes, on IMDb. And this one is the highest standing Mission Impossible, I believe, at 8.2 out of 10. And I think it has something like a 96%, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes currently. So it is the highest Mission Impossible. Now, I had to ask people because I didn't know, going in this, do I need to see any of the other previous films? And I think my take would probably be no. As a standalone, I kind of understood everything that was going on other than a character of Ethan's wife. Ethan, played by Tom Cruise, his wife, who we find out, it's not a spoiler at all, but we find out that she has to go ghost, quote unquote ghost. She has to go into hiding because something happens, I'm guessing from the previous film. So that was the only thing that kind of like, that I was guessing that happened in the previous film that you would have to know about. Other than that, I think it's a great standalone film and you don't really need to know too much about the Mission Impossible franchise.
Oh, yeah. And that intro alone, I don't know how long that intro was, but it was pretty long. But that intro was pretty epic. Yeah.
So, what's funny is that my mom saw this before me, and she always likes to call me and tell me about the movies, which is crazy. She should do her own podcast. But she saw this movie like the day after it came out, right? Like Saturday or something. And we kind of got to it a little bit later, right? But like a week and a half after. Mm-hmm. So anyways, she saw it. She said the first 10 minutes was boring. She absolutely thought it was boring. And I can understand why. It's not, I guess, your typical kind of you're running into action. It's more of developing of what's happening, why Ethan has to go on his next mission, if you choose to accept this mission, blah, 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 right? So I thought it had a lot of cool building up to what you were about to watch and what was going on with this whole terrorist group called, were they called the Apostles? I believe they were called.
Yeah, the Apostles, and wasn't there another one called the Syndicate or something like that?
Yeah, I think the Syndicate was in the previous movie.
Yeah.
Right?
That would like breaks down governments and shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so, yeah, you're absolutely right with that. So in this one, we get a group of terrorists called the Apostles, and they're basically just terrorists, right? And Ethan is sent on this mission, or, he chose to accept this mission of kind of infiltrating their system and finding these 3 plutonium, I guess you'd call them bombs, or 3 balls of plutonium. And I don't know what to call them. They look like bombs to me. They are bombs, right?
Right.
But they're bombs that could just, totally wipe you out. Totally wipe out, a huge city. And he has to stop, these terrorists or infiltrate their group and find out their next move. And we get our kind of typical, pretty much cliche spy Mission Impossible movie from what I've gathered. Now, you know what? I tried to watch the first one about a month ago because I always neglected these movies, and I always see clips of him, flying and stuff like that. And I would hear that he did all his own stunts and stuff like that. So I was like, hey, cool. I might want to check some of these out. We saw an hour of the first one and it was so boring. I had to turn it off. I don't know if you agree. Did you see the first one by any chance?
I don't remember the first one. I know I probably did.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing me and my dad used to do, was go see the new Mission Impossibles and shit.
Oh, really?
But it's been so long. It's been so long, man.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is the first one was directed by Brian De Palma, of all people, who did like The Untouchables. And so it's like, you're like, okay, wait a minute. This guy has a good little, track record. He even did Carrie. I forgot about that. He did Carrie. And for some reason, the shooting style was not very, it didn't pull me in too much, Yeah. But when I saw this, I was like, whoa, this is what an action movie should be. When there's dialogue, it's very intense. And when there's the fight scenes and the action scenes, it's like so on point. It kind of almost threw me back to like watching an old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or old Stallone movie where that action is going to be just on point,
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like so over the top, you just lose yourself. And this movie had like a runtime of like 2.5 hours. Oh, it's 2 hours and 27 minutes. And it didn't even feel like that to me.
No, but I kind of agree with your mom. There were some parts that were kind of drawn out, but like you said, it's to build the tension and to build the story,
Yeah. Yeah. So
but that bathroom scene, oh my God.
Yeah, we're going to jump right into that right in a second. But real quick, before I forget, guys, if you guys don't know about Mission Impossible Fallout, this is the 6th film for Tom Cruise. We get our typical cast. I believe they've been in the last 3 movies of Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, and Rebecca Ferguson, who I believe plays... I'm sorry, not Rebecca Ferguson. It is Michelle Monaghan? Monaghan. I believe it is Michelle Monaghan, who plays his wife. I think she might have been in the last one. We get a couple of Angela Bassett is in it. I don't know if she was in the last movie at all. Maybe you can tell me that. Angela Bassett, she's a big actress.
So yeah, she was.
Yeah, okay. So then we get Vanessa Kirby, who plays the White Widow. She's kind of like a middleman villain in the movie. She's the one that was kind of dressed like that 1950s singer. And then we get Henry Cavill, which is he plays August Walker, who you guys more notably from Superman. He's the guy that played Superman and Josh's famous CGI mustache, which he loves from Justice League, right?
Oh, it's classic. Dude, I didn't even recognize him. Could you tell it was him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely, I could tell.
I'm just kidding.
No, but if you guys didn't know the story of what that whole CGI mustache, so. At the same time he was filming Justice League, he was filming for this film, MI6, and they wanted him to grow out a big old thick Burt Reynolds mustache, and he did. But, Superman doesn't have a mustache, so they had to CGI his mustache out. And just Google Superman CGI mustache or Henry Cavill CGI mustache, and you'll see how weird his lip looks. It looks really, really bad.
And that's where they spent most of the money on that film, right?
I think so. I think that's where most of the budget, because they didn't go to the green screen. It looks so bad.
Right.
But anyways, so we get a pretty good cast, and let's see. So the quick synopsis for this film is Ethan Hunt and his IMF team, along with some familiar allies, race against time after a mission gone wrong. So in this one, we kind of start off with. I'm just kind of going to go a rundown of the movie. But Ethan fucks up. It starts off with Ethan fucking up. His team, they don't obtain the plutonium. And it gets, put in the hands of this apostle group, right? Was apostles or disciples?
The apostles.
The apostles. Okay, I'm sorry. All these freaking syndicate names. But anyways, they get a hold of it, right? And Angela Bassett does not like that. Now, they all work for the same like CIA group, right?
Right.
And she says, you know what? Ethan's fucked up again. He done fucked up so many times. And I'm not making a racist like voice or anything. I'm just saying he done fucked up again, right? So she says, I'm going to have one of my own, who's Henry Cavill's character, on the case, assisting him. And if he, just letting you know, if Ethan goes rogue, he's there to stop him too. So we got kind of like this guy who's like almost like a bodyguard, just kind of like an overseer, making sure Ethan, played by Tom Cruise, does not fuck up anymore. And he pretty much just tries to infiltrate, their organization and pose as other people so he can get this plutonium and, stop it before, world destruction pretty much. From this terrorist group. And that's, that's what it is in a nutshell. And I feel like these 007 like spy movies, they all kind of follow the same theme. It's just more modern day,
Yeah. It's pretty much the same premise, just modern.
Yeah. And you get a lot of action in there. And I'll just jump into like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was not bored by this movie at all whatsoever. I thought the acting was pretty great from everybody. What's funny is Ving Rhames, man, he's looking pretty swollen.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's looking pretty big, dude. He's looking pretty big. Yeah,
that part where he's like, the same old Ethan.
Yeah,
he just everything looks swollen. His nose is like huge. I don't know what's going on there.
Now, when they showed the close up of that face, did he not look like Sylvester Stallone from Rocky Balboa? He looks really a little bit beaten and battered, right? Yeah. Now, this is not the same Marcellus Wallace that we saw, and hopefully you don't hear this, Ving Rhames, but I still think he's a really good actor, but I just think he's kind of... he's a good actor. He doesn't have that many speaking roles too much in this movie. He plays the, more like the computer hack, not hacker, but like he kind of plays the background.
Specialist, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he's like the tech specialist, and him and Simon Pegg's character. So they kind of, they got Ethan's back and stuff like that. They play the background, and they're kind of like the comic relief, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I love this movie even more because Ving Rhames was actually emotional. Like that part where he's talking to Ethan's ex-wife.
I agree.
That was awesome.
I agree.
Like he's not going to win an Oscar, but still, it's great.
Yeah. It was more genuine, and I'm glad they didn't just throw him in there just for like a funny quip, like a funny like remark, like Ethan, that's my dog or whatever. Like I think he does say, something like that at the end. Remember when he's on the cliff, he's like my man or something like that. Yeah. So I was like, okay,
but that was good though. It fit though.
It fit. It wasn't over the top, but it fit like the writing. And yeah, you're right. With the whole dialogue between him and Ethan's wife was very genuine. Because there was a moment where they didn't think they were going to live. And he was just kind of
like always, right?
Yeah, like always. It comes down to the wire, literally, in this movie. And I thought it was really, really cool. And we'll kind of do an overview of like our favorite scenes without giving too much spoilers. We'll just try to remember, Josh, of like what you saw in the trailer. Because I think they showed so much in the trailer. And I think after I saw this movie and I started telling my coworkers about it the next day, they were like, who is Henry Cavill's character? Is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? Because it looks like he's working with him in the trailer, and then it looks like he's working against him in the trailer. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
Let me tell you what's going on without trying to spoil it, because I think people get confused at what's going on. I really got confused a little bit because I know he was working with the same organization, yet he's fighting Ethan in the trailer. He has like machine guns, coming out of the helicopter. So you're like, what's going on?
Which was badass, by the way.
Super badass, by the way. That gun, what was it, like a 50 cal or something? That was like mega. It was
like a 50 caliber with like extended ammo and stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't blow his shoulder out.
It was like a mini chain gun.
It was insane. It was you could see the bullets like flying. You could see like the actual the lightning burst of the bullets. But so without spoiling it too much, I mean Henry Cavill is there, like I said, like an overseer, but Tom Cruise does go rogue. He does kind of, go against the grain. And that's where we get our conflict of them, trying to stop each other. So we won't go too much into detail of what's going on with Henry Cavill's character because it is a pivotal plot point, Right. But let's jump into that scene that you were talking about. There's a huge scene where they fight in the restroom. You want to talk about that real quick?
Oh, yeah. It was amazing. So Ethan and Henry Cavill, Walker, to be accurate, his character name.
Yeah.
They're following this dude in this bathroom. They're trying to find John Lark, and they're tracing his phone. And it turns out it's like this Asian guy. So they wait for everyone to leave in the bathroom, and they just totally like try to beat the shit out of him. But man, they get their ass kicked pretty bad.
Oh God, dude! And I have to say, I don't know who this Asian guy was, but he dismantled both of them easily, and he was like half of their size. Well, maybe not half of Tom Cruise's size, because Tom Cruise is pretty short.
Right, but dude, Henry Cavill should have been able to knock him out. Like,
yeah, that dude looked pretty big. Like he looked pretty beast mode.
He was huge, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, remember, guys, this is Superman. Like this is Superman we're dealing with. So, yeah, there's an intense scene where they find out that this, I guess he's like a middleman, or he's like somebody that's going to communicate with the White Widow. So they're trying to intercept him, right, and pose as him, so they can kind of step in and take the plutonium. Right. But this guy doesn't, let up without a fight. And we get one of the most awesome bathroom scenes I've probably ever seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of fight scenes in the restroom or bar fights or whatever. But this one was 1-on-2, 1 versus 2. And the smaller guy dismantled both of them, for a long time. He was kicking ass, and he was, a martial arts expert, obviously. And it was cool, man. You just see people flying through bathroom, windows, and people getting slammed through walls, and flips and kicks and punches. You know what? The Asian guy was punching a lot to the throat. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
I think he punched both of them in the throat to kind of like, that must be like a weak point, like kind of like drop them, whatever. But that guy was kicking ass, dude.
Dude, he was like Chow Yun-Fat mixed with Jet Li.
Is Chow Yun-Fat the actual fat guy, the heavy set guy that's like, or am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah, the heavier set action guy that's...
How crazy is it that guy can move like that? It's almost like Steven Seagal. Like,
I don't know.
Right?
It's possible, though.
I mean, it's possible. If Steven Seagal can do it, right? He
just had more dumplings than Jet Li, that's all. He's been eating more dumplings.
Something, dude.
You've been going to little dumplings too long.
So let me look up the box office on this real quick before we jump into more scenes. So if you guys aren't already subscribing, please make sure you're subscribing wherever you're listening or watching, because we are videotaping this as well. Do people still say videotaping? Just recording. Oh God, I sound so old every time I talk on this thing. We're recording video. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up and subscribe before I get into some more news. And we're also on Twitter and Instagram, right, Josh? At what? Give our handle.
At flixtalk.com.
No. Our handle on Instagram and Twitter is at Flix Talk Podcast. But our
I thought we were doing the website. Okay.
And the website is Flix Talk Podcast. Remember, it's FLIX Talk Podcast. All right, guys, it's okay. So currently, this movie's made $372 million worldwide, dude.
Jesus.
And opening weekend, it made $61 million. And you know what? This summer, 2018, has not been great for movies. I mean, of course, I
was just reading that article too.
Oh, yeah. I found one. Was there an article? What was it saying?
Some article talking about VODs and Chinese companies, and they're losing money because they're producing these movies too early.
Yeah,
they lost like $1 billion in revenue or something like that.
Well, the budget just keeps getting bigger on these films, and they're just not producing that much back. And you know what's funny is that they put up Rotten Tomatoes actually put up a video showing like the top 5 grossing movies this year, and I think it was like Black Panther. They're all superhero movies, like Black Panther, Avengers, Jurassic World, and I forget the other 2. But all of them are like in the 90 percentile, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is at 51%. Now, why is that movie the top grossing if it got 51%? To me personally, I believe it's because do you remember the tactic that they did? They actually released it a week early overseas first before they did in the domestic. And I think that's where I keep hearing this thing about monster movies do well overseas, as opposed to the US. So movies like Pacific Rim Uprising, I think, came out overseas first. I could be wrong about that, but like monster movies in general. So we might see Godzilla come out, overseas,
I saw that.
Next.
You see that trailer? That looks so badass.
Fucking epic. I'm really looking forward to. Oh, dude, so many monsters in that movie. Rodan, all that stuff. But anyways, so I think that's the reason why Jurassic World 2 got so much, because I don't even know where it's at right now. And then they're talking about, Black Panther is like surpassing, it's like 700 million domestic, and it's already like passed in the, Billionaire Boys Club. But, I think that's superhero movies and releasing it overseas, internationally makes more money right now, right? So, a lot of these other movies are not, like Equalizer flopped, Equalizer 2 flopped, Skyscraper flopped. Just a lot of the comedies that came out flopped. Christopher Robin flopped. I thought that was going to be a big family movie. That made like 12 million. It flopped. It made nothing.
Wow.
And that's pretty sad. But this movie right here, opening weekend, it made 61 million, like I said. So domestically, we're at 147 million. Foreign, it made 224 million, and we're at a total of 372, like I said. So it's doing pretty good. It's like number one at the box office still. Yeah, dude, it's kicking ass.
That's crazy. Well, it's great to see Ethan do all these stunts, man. That's insane that he does all this. He reminds me of like Keanu Reeves now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think he's actually surpassed that level. I think Keanu Reeves is more like him, like trying to be like him now.
Yeah.
And they did have a budget, by the way, of 178 million. So they've already surpassed that. That's actually a lot for a movie like this. That is a lot. Because there's not that much, there's not CGI in it. I don't think that I know of.
Well, I'm sure there's some, but some of those scenes were
more of it's, I think most of it is more stunts, like just actual stunts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't see where the CGI is in that, other than people getting stabbed maybe a couple times. But, yeah, that's a huge budget. 178 million. That's like a Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
what was your favorite top scene? What would you say your
let's see, without getting into any spoiler, it has to be like the last 15 minutes of it. The last 15 or 20 minutes of the movie. So of course, he finds out where the plutonium is, without spoilers, guys. He finds out where the plutonium is. And they go try to stop it. Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames and the woman involved, who is, I think she's new to this movie. I'm not sure if she was in the last one. I think her name is Rebecca Ferguson. Let me look at her picture really quick. Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson. So she plays also a CIA operative, and she ends up working alongside of them. But at first they had beef, and you guys remember her? She's riding the motorcycle in the trailer. She has a black, all black, and she has a gun, and she's like, "Please don't make me go through you, Ethan."
Straight up badass.
Yeah. So there's a lot of conflict going on, but she ends up working with them in the end, and they're just trying to infiltrate and stop this, this bomb from going off, right? So they're trying to stop the bomb while Ethan's trying to. I don't know if I should say it. It might be a spoiler, actually. I don't want to say, but Ethan's trying to stop. Ethan's trying to stop somebody, and there's a huge helicopter scene, guys, and that's when he pulls out, the 50 cal on Ethan, and they just start going at it. And there's like a huge cliff scene where they're fighting, and it's so great. You guys got to watch the trailer. Okay. It'll show it all in the trailer. And I thought that was so intense, especially when it shows. And I had a lot of questions right there. I know he does a lot of his own stunts, and if you guys don't know, look at.
I know what you're thinking of.
Hold on, wait. Make sure you guys YouTube Tom Cruise stunts, Mission Impossible. Look at all the stunts that he's actually done. And in this one, he jumped from a building to another building, and he broke his ankle, and he pulled himself up like a G and just kept running, right? While you could see the pain in his face. He broke his fucking ankle, man. And he still ran. They go like, "Oh, run it off." He actually did run it off, and they were still filming. And I thought it was great. I thought it showed a lot of heart and dedication of this movie. And I believe he's a producer of this film, right? And I think he's produced a couple of the other films. He's one of
the producers. So is J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, J.J. Abrams. You know what? He's attaching himself more in the producer world as opposed to the directorial. I've noticed he's been more attaching himself to producer credits. Yeah. So, I kind of want to see behind the scenes of like how much he had, to do with this film. But this film was great. This film was awesome. And like I said, there's a lot of stunts that Ethan does. But there was a scene like, him climbing up a rope to the helicopter that they showed it from up top, like his view, looking down. That didn't look green screen at all. If that was green screen, that was the best green screen I've ever seen in my life. And it looked like he was 100 feet off the ground, 200 feet off the ground.
Oh no, I think he really did that. I think
If he really did that, holy
shit!
shit. And like, I'm sure they had like wires attached to him if you let go.
Oh yeah.
But dude, I mean, well, I also heard that, I guess in the previous film, I actually saw that clip. In the previous film, he's like hanging onto a helicopter or something on the side of a helicopter. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess he actually really did that. He held on the side of a helicopter when it went off. I mean, I'm sorry, a plane when it took off.
Which is crazy, yeah.
And I guess they just like suspended him with a wire or whatever. But dude, just to do that is so ballsy. And I know he actually skydives in real life. He really does that.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. So I got to say the last 15 minutes for me were amazing. I love the tension. The music was great, and I'm glad they didn't kind of steer away and kind of create like, okay, for example, you know how in Black Panther, they had a lot of like hip hop songs that were kind of like central around, but they only threw in like one or two, and the rest of it was more like orchestrated or like tribal music. That was good because that fit the whole thing. It wasn't over the top. Now in this movie, we get maybe like a club scene. There's like a scene where they go to like some European area. And there's like, house music playing, right? And that made sense because it wasn't over the top. It fit the theme. But for the most of the movie, it was more orchestrated and, created a lot of high tension and stuff like that, which was good. I thought it was a perfect mixture of orchestrated and, maybe produced in the studio music, like digitally. So. Oh,
yeah. It was a great combination and fit the movie well.
Mm-hmm. I thought everything aligned.
David, was that a real DJ there? Or was that?
I don't. You know what? I was looking at it. It definitely looked like a real club. I mean, it fit the atmosphere. It's cool to see the DJ in the middle. I didn't recognize that guy. He kind of looked like a side character from John Wick, actually. So I don't. He looked like one of the villains, maybe, of John Wick. But
one of the guys that helped steal his dog or kill him.
Maybe something. But it was cool. We got a really cool cast. I actually like seeing the White Widow. I hope we see her in the next one. I thought she was a cool side character, and I haven't really seen her in too much stuff. But we also get Alec Baldwin. How cool is it seeing Alec Baldwin in this movie? Oh. And he dropped some LBs, man. He looked pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, that was another good thing to see him. Yeah,
it's cool because I know we've seen him. Last thing I saw him in was like SNL. Excuse me, like SNL impressions for like Trump, and 30 Rock. Remember that show, 30 Rock?
I remember correctly. He was in the last one. I believe he was in the last one.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean he was in the previous movies, but I mean as far as seeing him like in between in between those, like I've only seen him on SNL and stuff like that. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I thought we got a really good cast here. It wasn't too much. Even though this is a Mission Impossible movie, I feel like they got a cool balance of focusing on every character. It wasn't too much of just Tom Cruise. Like, this is a Tom Cruise movie. We're only focusing on him. Like, I felt like they evened it out with Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg. And Simon Pegg, dude, is always getting a little bit better, I think. I think he's really kind of a standout guy,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I just saw the trailer for his new movie. I don't know if you saw it. It's called...
I haven't seen that yet. Does it
Slaughterhouse Rules. It looks like Harry Potter meets like a horror movie. So it looks okay. I mean, it looks kind of like the way they edited it together would look like kind of a Shaun of the Dead, which is awesome. A lot of quick cuts and editing and quirkiness, But, dude, Simon Pegg's really stepped it up. And I'm kind of surprised because I don't usually get too much British humor. Or I get kind of annoyed by it. Right. No offense to any British, but it's just kind of like not my cup of tea, so to say. But his not my cup of tea. But he's been able to stay on the level and stay. And I really loved him in Ready Player One, by the way. He plays like a pretty good main character, even though you don't see him too much in that movie. But I think he's really been a breakthrough British actor.
Most definitely.
And it's awesome too. And on a side note too, I don't know if you saw, I posted up on a Flix Talk podcast on our Instagram and Twitter, this guy named Boss Logic. Have you ever heard of Boss Logic, dude? He is an amazing designer. He does these like mock-ups of like, so if he hears like a rumor of like, oh, the next James Bond is supposedly going to be, so-and-so, he'll make an actual like mock-up, like a fake pic, like a Photoshop job of that, right? So, and it looks like a real poster. So he just put up a picture of Henry Cavill as 007, and it looks so legit. I got to send it to you afterwards.
I think I saw that.
And then he did one of Idris Elba, who is I think is an amazing actor as next 007. Now I got a question for you, Josh, because people are kind of torn between it. Who would you want to see as the next James Bond 007? Because if you think about it, 007 can be anybody. It's just a secret agent, right?
It's just a code name, yeah.
It's just a code name, James Bond, right? Not a real name. So would you like to see Henry Cavill as him? Or would you like to see Idris Elba as the next James Bond?
Probably, honestly, Henry Cavill. He's not that bad of an actor. I thought he was pretty good in this movie.
Okay. No, I gotta disagree and go on the flip side of the coin. I gotta say Idris Elba, just because I think he's had more work as far in the movie world, and I think he just has a cleaner cut, more suave look to him. And I think he could pull it off. And I think the world's ready for a black James Bond. I don't know. I mean, that's just, me just saying that just for more diversity.
Give it the times, people, right?
Yeah, it's just cool to kind of see that and just show that it's just more than a white man's world. I don't know what else. But like, it's not only that, but I think he's out of the two. I think he's just the better actor. And it's funny because do you remember the tweet that Samuel L. Jackson put out about all of these black British actors are taking black American jobs?
Yeah, about Black Panther.
What do you think about? Yeah, what do you think about that? No, I think he was actually talking about Get Out because the guy that
Get Out.
the guy that plays. Is it Daniel Kaluuya? Remember Kaluuya? Daniel Kaluuya?
Get some Kaluuya, Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya. He's British. So I think he was referring to him when he said that.
Wow.
I believe it's what it was. So Samuel L. Jackson was feeling some type of way. And I think actually Idris Elba replied to that, to Sam Jackson. I forgot what he said, but maybe I'll put the tweet up right here so we can kind of discuss it later. But anyways, that was a total side note, but I mean, it pertains to this whole spy world, and I absolutely love this movie. And I told my coworker that, and he goes, "You know what? Go watch the last 3 movies." He actually said, watch Mission Impossible 3, 4, and 5. He said, I think you would like them. So I might do that. I might binge watch that this weekend.
Binge watch Mission Impossible weekend.
Let's make it a Mission Impossible weekend. Jeez, and we're already over 30 minutes into this podcast, but
going strong.
We're going strong on this one, man. We're just free flowing it, freestyling, free falling. Sorry, but
what would you give it, brother?
I gotta give it a solid 9 out of 10, and I would definitely, and I would definitely watch it again. Just to catch some things that maybe I didn't catch the first time. There's a lot of information thrown at you at the beginning, but I got the gist of it. I saw it in a packed theater, and everybody else loved it as well. And you know what? I was on the edge of my seat when it came to a lot of these scenes. I was on the edge of my seat, and I really liked it. And
dude, we had badass seats. We had like reserved seating, and it was like reclining. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, dude! Whoever invented recliner seats is definitely gives a pat on the back.
But
man.
I love it, dude, because like the back, there's no way people can kick your seat.
Yeah, same here.
No little kids kicking your seat.
Yeah, same here. I know that's your pet peeve.
I'll give it an 8.5.
Okay.
8.5.
Okay. So we named a lot of the likes of the movie. Do we have any dislikes with the movie?
I would have to say, without giving a spoiler away, some things were too obvious. Like it was too. Some parts were too predictable, I guess you could say.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could tell me off air when we stop recording of what that was. No, I think maybe I would agree with that.
You get what I'm saying?
I kind of called what might have happened next, but there was a lot of twists that happened, especially in that third act with Henry Cavill's character. And I think you know what I'm talking about when they're underground.
Yeah, dude, that's
when they're underground and they're all kind of talking with Alec Baldwin. That scene I didn't see really coming. The whole thing about the CIA is a bunch of men running around with masks on. I didn't really see that coming. And you know what I'm talking about, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure you're still alive over there.
Yes. Still alive.
Yeah, but I think it wasn't to a point where I was like, okay, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a solid one. And it's so weird because sequels usually go down as far as percentages and quality wise. But this one was probably I can't say because I haven't seen the previous ones, but everyone's saying that this is the best one. And for it to be number 6, dude, you're just getting better with age, like a fine wine, Tom Cruise.
Right.
You're killing it. Tom Cruise is totally killing it, man. And every time they showed him on screen close up, I was like, I cannot believe this guy is the age that he is. Because what is he, man? He's let's see. He was born in 1962. So what does that make it? Come on, we're on the spot here. 1962. 1962. People are gonna crucify us. They're like, man, you guys are pretty slow when it comes to the age.
Was it 56?
56 years old. He was born July 3rd. Man, wow,
that's crazy.
Wow. And to put that into perspective, Brad Pitt is 54, Johnny Depp is 55, and George Clooney is 57.
And he's still doing it.
And all these guys look great. All these guys still look great except for Johnny Depp. But he must have been.
Johnny Depp's got a lot of problems.
Yeah, he's going through some shit.
Did you hear about his bad boy shit?
Bad boy shit.
Like,
what does that mean?
Getting in fights on sets and shit and all the time.
I know he's becoming a side character in a lot of these movies. He's not the main guy, so I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe he's charging too much, or something else is going on in his contract. But we're not seeing him in any lead roles. I keep seeing all these conspiracy videos on him that he's getting sick and he doesn't have enough blood to stay alive. Like the blood sacrifices are running out. I got to send you these conspiracy links that I find on YouTube.
Reptilian shit? Are these the same people that brought you reptilian?
Probably, man. Probably,
reptilian people. Oh my god.
But that's all.
Send it to me though. Send it to me. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I got you. But that's all I got to say on this, really, without making it too long. Tom Cruise nailed it. He's awesome, badass. And if he comes out with another one, I won't be mad at him, man. I will love to see another one.
Yeah, I'd be impressed if he keeps.
Yeah. So I give it a 9 out of 10. You gave it a 8. You said.
8.5.
Oh, 8.5. Okay. So solid reviews right there, man. And yeah, guys. All right. So if you guys like this review, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys are subscribing. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell so you guys can see more videos from Josh and I. And Josh, I got to get you vlogging, man, because I know there's some shit going on out there in Vegas that you might want to record. And hey, man, I might be coming out there in a couple months for October because we got to see Halloween, dude. We got to see Halloween, brother.
Hands down. But I'm not going to get the day off, David. I'm telling you. Right now. It's a blackout day, dude. It's ridiculous.
October 19th is a blackout day? Why would that be a blackout day?
Oh, I thought you were going to come out on Halloween and we see Halloween.
No. Halloween when Halloween 2018 comes out. Jamie Lee Curtis.
I still probably can't do that. Like there's like 2 weeks of I'll check the calendar.
Okay, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. All right. But anyways, I got to come out there soon or I got to get you vlogging or something because I want to make you part of this YouTube channel. And if you guys don't know, we are on YouTube, youtube.com/Flix Talk. Remember, that's FLIX Talk, and follow us on our social medias at Flix Talk Podcast. Once again, that's FLIX Talk Podcast and FLIX Talkpodcast.com. God, I hate spelling all that stuff. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching so much. And what do you got to say, Josh?
Keep on listening.
Yeah, there you go. You remember this time, buddy. All right, guys.
Will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
No. All right, guys, we're gone.